Okay, we've all been there. Looking for a job. It's not always the easiest thing to do.
Right, and especially in this economy. But when you start hearing about maybe companies starting to hire again, we thought it'd be important to talk about what to do if you finally get an interview. So today we have asked our staffing expert at OnStaff USA to come in and give us some really helpful tips.
Yes, Emily Turner is with us. And Emily, you always have great advice for us and the people watching the show. So let's start with the do's before we get to the don'ts.
Okay.
Because there are a lot of both to think about.
Definitely.
What are the do's?
Well, definitely go into an interview prepared and confident. Definitely have a firm handshake. Take copies of your resume. You know, research the company. Know about the company that you are interviewing for, because you're going to be asked what you know.
Right, and it's easy to do on the internet these days.
That's right. Talk honestly about yourself and be positive. So those are definitely key things that I encourage anyone.
And you know, when you talk about being prepared, does part of your preparation sort of depend upon who exactly you're going to be meeting with? Are you meeting with the president of the company? Are you meeting with the HR people? I mean, should that really have an impact on your preparation process?
You should be prepared for whoever that you're meeting with. And you should know if you're meeting with, you know, 3 or 4 people or just one person. Who is it that you're meeting?
Okay.
Like anything, it's good to study up. You kind of touched upon that too. But there should be some things that you've kind of put in your head, kind of questions that you have a very good chance of being asked because they're common interview questions. How do you think people should prepare for those types?
Typically, the most common question is, what do you know about our company? So, you know, what do they make? How long have they been in business? Who is their CEO? Those are typical questions that an HR person would want to know. What are your top 3 strengths about yourself? Areas of opportunities. That is typically how an HR person might phrase the question, but that is, what are your weaknesses? Just to kind of clue somebody in on that.
And so how would you answer that? You know, I'm too much of a perfectionist. Would that be considered bragging and not really answering the question? I mean, how much of a negative do you go into?
That can be looked at as a positive as well as an opportunity.
Okay, so you would maybe put that out.
Correct.
You wouldn't say, like, I'm super disorganized and sort of a slob if you want to check out my car.
I would not say that.
And you were mentioning too, positive is so important. And maybe, let's say your last job didn't work out. You weren't there very long. It's really important to be honest, but yet also put that positive spin on it.
Definitely. If, let's say you were at your last employer for 2 months, why did you leave that position? It wasn't the right fit. Be honest, because employers have ways of finding out why you left.
Sure.
But you don't want to say, well, I hated my boss. He and I didn't get along. You want to say it wasn't the right fit for me at the time.
Right,
because it may have
make them question you. Right.
Correct.
Yeah, it may have been that boss was hard to get along with for everybody, but the red flag would immediately go up with a potential supervisor.
Exactly.
I do have to ask also, for people, you have to almost expect that people who are interviewing you may be investigating you too, things like Facebook and Twitter and all the social media. I mean, is there any caution for people and how they conduct themselves in social media?
I would not put on things that you don't want employers to know about you.
Or pictures.
Pictures.
Which can say a lot too without saying anything at all.
Vulgarity.
Okay.
You know, that does turn employers off.
Right. And people check that stuff out.
You bet. Yep.
Wow. Okay, so let's get to the other list.
Okay.
All right. The do-nots.
The do-nots.
Okay. What do you say absolutely do not do during an interview?
Wow. I definitely encourage people to make eye contact. Don't look down. I would not ask about money. There is a time and a place to ask about money.
Right.
If you are asked.
This is a big one.
Yeah. If you're asked, answer the question. But don't throw it out there, what does the job pay?
Okay.
Wait until the appropriate time to ask that question. Don't talk negatively about past jobs or managers. Again, put a positive spin. Don't lie. Again, employers have ways of finding out information, so Don't lie. And don't be late. Don't be too early. 15-ish minutes is good timing, but definitely do not walk in late to an interview, not even a minute.
Okay,
Okay.
because you want to make sure that you're, from the very beginning, showing I'm excited to be here.
Interest in the company.
I'm happy to have this interview, and I want to be here and give a right impression.
Exactly. And then don't forget copies of your resume. Even if you've sent it into the company prior to, yes, they may have a copy of it, but let's say the HR manager is going from one meeting to the next, and they're picking you up in the front lobby, may not have that copy of the resume when they're greeting you in the front lobby. It's great for that person for you to hand that resume to that person.
Right. That's all really great advice on both sides.
Definitely.
I have to ask, since you're on the job front of what's happening in West Michigan, are there jobs out there?
My
Where
goodness.
are they? What should people be doing?
We are so busy. We need people every day. We have companies calling us stating, we need 20 people tomorrow, what can you do for us? We need 15 people tomorrow, what can you do for us? Primarily manufacturing. Clerical side is, again, still very busy. So if you're looking for work, please go online, OnStaffUSA.com, and make application with us. We will phone screen you immediately and invite you into our office.
And in a transitional time in somebody's employment history and in a transitional time in our economy, really, you really provide people wonderful opportunities to even figure out what may be a hidden talent or passion by trying some of these different
Find
things.
the right fit. And we are partnering with companies in West Michigan to offer skills assessments and training for them as well.
That's wonderful.
So,
Great. Well, good advice,
Yes,
Emily.
that's
We really
fantastic.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. We'll be right back.